In her book, Reading Like a Writer, Francine Prose explores the intricate relationship between reading and writing, arguing that writers can greatly improve their craft by studying the works of other authors. She emphasizes the importance of paying close attention to various elements of fiction, such as plot, character development, point of view, style, and language, in order to understand how these components work together to create a compelling narrative. Throughout the book, Prose provides numerous examples from classic and contemporary literature to illustrate her points. The first chapter, The Reader's Craft, discusses the role of the reader in understanding and appreciating literature. Prose argues that reading is not a passive activity, but rather an active process that requires engagement and critical thinking. She encourages readers to approach texts with curiosity and openness, asking questions about the author's intentions, choices, and techniques. This chapter also introduces the idea of reading like a writer, which involves examining a text from the perspective of a writer in order to learn from its strengths and weaknesses. The second chapter, The Writer's Toolbox, delves into the various tools that writers use to create fiction. Prose discusses the importance of plot, character development, point of view, style, and language in shaping a story. She provides examples from classic literature, such as Jane Austen's use of irony in Pride and Prejudice, and F. Scott Fitzgerald's mastery of dialogue in The Great Gatsby, to illustrate how these elements work together to create a rich and engaging narrative. The third chapter, The Art of Character, focuses on the creation and portrayal of characters in fiction. Prose emphasizes that characters should be complex and multidimensional, with both strengths and weaknesses, in order to be believable and engaging. She discusses various techniques for developing characters, such as physical description, dialogue, action, and internal monologue. This chapter also includes examples from contemporary literature, such as Toni Morrison's Beloved and J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter series, to illustrate how authors create memorable and compelling characters. The fourth chapter, The Power of Point of View, explores the impact of narrative perspective on the reader's experience of a story. Prose explains that point of view can be first person, second person, or third person, and that each perspective has its own advantages and limitations. She provides examples from classic literature, such as Charlotte Bronte's Jane Eyre and George Orwell's 1984, to illustrate how point of view can shape the reader's understanding of the characters and events in a story. The fifth chapter, The Role of Style, discusses the importance of style in fiction. Prose defines style as the author's unique way of using language to convey meaning and create atmosphere. She explains that style encompasses elements such as diction, syntax, and imagery, and that it can be used to reveal character, set a tone, or create a sense of place. This chapter includes examples from various authors, such as William Faulkner's As I Lay Dying and Vladimir Nabokov's Lolita, to demonstrate the power of style in shaping a narrative. The sixth chapter, The Art of Language, focuses on the specific elements of language that writers use to create meaning and effect. Prose discusses the importance of word choice, sentence structure, and figurative language in fiction. She provides examples from classic literature, such as Ernest Hemingway's economical prose in A Farewell to Arms and James Joyce's use of stream of consciousness in Ulysses, to illustrate how language can be used to create vivid imagery, evoke emotion, and engage the reader. The seventh and final chapter, The Writer's Toolbox in Action, brings together the concepts discussed in previous chapters and applies them to the analysis of a single work of literature. John Updike's Rabbit, Run. Updike's Rabbit, Run. Prose uses this example to demonstrate how a writer can effectively employ various tools from the toolbox, such as character development, point of view, style, and language, to create a compelling and nuanced narrative. This chapter serves as a practical example of the principles discussed throughout the book, and encourages readers to apply these same principles in their own writing and reading practices. Throughout Reading Like a Writer, Francine Prose emphasizes the importance of paying close attention to detail when reading and writing fiction. She encourages readers and writers alike to approach texts with curiosity, openness, and critical thinking, and to use these tools to better understand the craft of writing. By studying the works of great authors and applying their techniques to one's own work, writers can improve their skills and create more engaging, thought-provoking, and memorable fiction.